Hey there, Boots Owen here. This is a 24 volt lithium ion battery pack that came out of a Spear and Jackson lawnmower, and I don't have a charger for it, but I would like to use it cutting the grass. So what I've come up with is this rather sketchy arrangement. Sketchy, you might say. This is a Dyson charger with a bit of copper wire wrapped around the negative being the outside and the positive being the inside. And I've put them straight, positive to positive inside the battery, negative to the negative terminal over here inside the battery, because if I put them on the positive and negative terminals on here, it won't charge. There must be some kind of a switch going on this board. It has 4 terminals, positive on the left, then OV, then T, and then what's the one on the right? Battery negative, the one on the right, this one. So at the moment it's at 22.7. it's drawing 20 watts from the grid. It was at 22.4, I think, or something like that. So it's going up slowly, which suits me just fine. I've tested through all of the battery contacts, which run the yellow wire there and the blue wire, for instance, to the, I think it's a 6S. It might be 12 cells in there, so 6S2, is that right? Something like that. And I'm aiming to get it up to 24 point something volts. If I got up to 24 volts, I'd be happy enough. It would be pretty near. I think 25.2 or something, it would be about full. A lithium cell is 4.2 when it's full. So if you multiply 4.2 by 6, you get 25.2, I think. So if I get up to 24.6, that would be 0.1 under 4.2, which should enhance the life of the battery. Saying that, I don't know where it's come from other than the street where I found it attached to the mower. And if I get a few cuts out of it this summer, I'd be happy. And I don't really mind messing around with it like this. I started by playing with this John Lewis charger here, which is 25 to 29 volts. I'm guessing it's for a John Lewis vacuum cleaner as well. I cut the end off that. I don't know where it's gone now. I'm going to interfere with everything here. There it is. And it's got 3 wires, positive, negative, and white. And I think that's because there's a combination of the charging thing in the plug that on this one is just here. I'm not sure if that's right or not. I'm not sure what kind of a charger this one sits on. They're for sale online, but they're, you know, well, given that I didn't pay for the mower, they're expensive. So I'd appreciate any comments on this. How to bypass this, if you know how, or how to make a better job of it. I've got a couple of different chargers. The closest thing I have to what I need is this active energy charger, but it's a 20/40 volt charger, so it doesn't really do it. It only outputs 21 volts, and it just does that times 2 if it's the 40 volt battery that you're putting into it. So it won't do it, but it's the same kind of arrangement. And you've got 2 different charges, and then the T, which is your temperature sensor. And I don't really know any more than that about it. I haven't had this one apart. The other one that I have is a similar DeWalt guy, but it's another 18 volt one, and 24 is just a bit higher. So I'll leave this for a while. It could take, I don't know, is this like, this may not be a fast charger. Like, it's a Dyson, so it's just meant to be plugged in all the time, I think. I'll let it get up, and I'll come back to it maybe when it gets up to something a bit higher. Oh, and at the moment, as a test, let's try this as well. I would say now we've got 1 out of the 2 greens lighting up as well. So we'll see what happens in a bit, and see what 2 greens looks like. So if it's got 2 greens, it might only, no, it is 6 cells, so, but it might only go up to 24 volts or something like that. I don't know. I think those charging indicators work purely on voltage, so I'm hoping it's not. Yeah, I don't know what voltage I should aim for in a 24 volt one. Like, is it 20? Is it calling itself? There, it's skipping up to 28 now. Is it calling itself 24 volts when really it's 22.7 or something? So over here, there's a G-Tech. What does it run at? See, it runs at 22 volts. So I don't want to overcharge it. 22 volts straight up, so that'll be 5 cells rather than 6, if that makes sense. Although maybe it's 6 cells as well, and it's just playing the low end. I don't know. If you could call it 24 volts instead of calling it 22 volts, you might be trying to cod your customers, you know? Make it seem bigger. I don't know. I don't know. So the power's still going in at about 20 watts. It's come up to 23.6. And if I can grab that and touch it, we've got 4 lights on it now, which is indicating a full charge, but I'm going to let it, I think, go up to 24 volts and quit then while I'm ahead. I don't think that'll do any damage to it, but it should give me enough oomph to cut the grass. I've got to find a better way of doing this. Ideally, I could just put a plugged socket out of a Dyson straight into the battery. That might be a solution, you know, instead of having these, and just those clips would only be for discharge then. Either that or figure out what I'm doing here. I think if I could get to this and this cable here, that would do it for a discharge, or I could just hotwire something across there with a soldering iron either. Don't know yet. I think people might comment on this video and tell me what I'm meant to do. I said about the John Lewis one, we need to somehow trick the charger into giving a charge, or this into receiving it, one or the other, and I'm not sure how to do it up to 23.7. So we'll wrap this up in a minute. I sometimes say in my videos, welcome to laundry land, but in this case it's welcome to lithium land. There's lithium batteries coming out of my ears on this workbench. I've got this little power station from All Powers going here, charging and discharging batteries for fun. But over here we've reached 24 volts. So given that it was already green, it should still be green, or 2 greens, and it is. So I'm going to disconnect it and sleep on this, and you're going to hopefully tell me in the comments below how I can get this fellow running a bit better as a charger, or get this fellow running as a bit better as a charger, rather than having the voltage output there, voltage display. Although, you know, it works just fine. So I'll switch that off, hook this out. It's just hooked in. I didn't even like click it on or anything. It's giving me 23 volts, 23.9 there now. It's not even, it's just gravity was holding it on. So I'll leave that for a while and see if it discharges a little bit more, but it should still be okay. Yeah, it's still got 2 lights on it. So I'm pretty happy with that as a method for charging this up. I cut the grass maybe once a week, and I think this is done in the as found condition. I found this in the lawnmower on the street and did the lawn with it once, and I didn't check the voltage before. I think it either had 1 or 2 greens on it. So this might last, you know, every month I have to charge it. If I cut the grass every week, every 2 weeks, I don't know. Depends. We're coming into summer. What's convenient, the only reason I'm bothering is because normally I cut it with an electric mower when the sun's out, and that's great. Very convenient to do so. But you've got a cable, and this takes the cable out of the equation. It makes life a lot easier with no cable. But there you go. Tell me how I'm meant to get over this 4-pin arrangement with plus, OV, T, and bat negative, plus and negative, and come around that charging setup, because I'm all for hot wiring, but you do it wrong once and you've wrecked everything. So what's the battery type actually? I should probably mention that. It's a Spear & Jackson 24LB4005, so 24 volt lithium battery for Spear & Jackson. And they make these for other things as well. Oh, it's come down to 23.8 now. Wonder what it'll get as a resting voltage. Don't know. Doesn't really matter because it's been charged now, and I'll just leave it at that. So questions or comments, leave them below. Like and subscribe. Join the channel if you want to be a member. Helps the channel do silly stuff like this, and maybe pay for a charger eventually. But I'd rather not pay. I'd rather dodge it somehow. Questions or comments, leave them below. Oh, something's falling down. Thanks for watching. See you later.